My name is Afiq. If you want my full name, it's Muhammad Afiq bin Zaini. And somewhere along the way, I've gotten myself a Chinese name also. So it's Muhammad Afiq.
我是陈正豪，我现在在回响吹打团，是我们的打击乐副首席。
Then I'm playing in my ensemble, Reverberance. I have my colleagues tell me, you play this one sound too Malay. You need to be a bit more Chinese. Then I'll be there. I think that is what I would assume to be Chinese. But then if Malay way, it's a lot more lyrical, a lot more laid back.
完蛋了，我听不出来。
这个故事要从阿飞在小六会考结束后，参加了一次校外的华乐体验营讲起。当时他觉得这体验营的地点靠近住处，且不需要到学校上课，兴起之下报名参加。没想到这5天的体验营，开启了他接下来15年的华乐之路。
We were warned that it's a Chinese orchestra. Then like at the back of our heads, you're like, yeah, how Chinese can it be? You know, it's just orchestra but Chinese people lah. Okay lah. Oh, but no, we were wrong. Yeah. Everything was in Chinese. So when we first stepped into this camp, I think everyone was just confused. It's like,
You walk into the wrong room.
Yeah, I was like, what do we do with these two? They placed me into percussion, and along with me, I had my Indian friend who also went for the same exposure camp. And I remember the first piece that we played was, I think, pardon my Mandarin, Lin Chong Ye Hui, is it? A Rendezvous in the Night, something like that. And that piece stuck with me because it's something fresh.
上中学选课外活动时，他将华乐填进第3志愿，并注明自己参加过体验营。没想到自己的首选射击与次选学生警察都没选上，反倒被选进了第3志愿的华乐团，但不是打击乐，而是唢呐组。
So what they did back then was my senior just passed me the instrument. They said, you try to make a sound. I said, What do I do? Just blow. I said, okay. I managed to produce the sound. And then they said that's very good already. And to me, I thought, I sound like a duck. Really good one. Then they say, okay, you have affinity for this instrument. Just go on and learn this instrument.
This looks like your workstation for the next 3 days. Can you just introduce a little bit what you have here?
I think the interesting one is what's on my trap stand. So I have a folding knife because sometimes I will have to scrape some material off of my reeds, this thing here. And I also have I guess this is a carving knife. So sometimes I have to carve the holes because some of the notes might be a bit flat. So I'll have to carve it to make it slightly sharper.
阿飞除了唢呐，也会另一种华乐乐器管子。这是他通过直接收生计划 DSA 进入安德逊初级学院的时候接触到的，而他对唢呐的热爱也在大学时达到高峰。
So that was at the height of my obsession with Swana. So the piece is titled Pawang Peji. I was so invested in it. So I went to take a module, an elective module on women in ancient Chinese history. Just to better understand the perspective of the person in the music.
阿飞在大学时加入国大华乐团，退伍后也加入新加坡国家青年华乐团。但当他想要成为全职唢呐演奏家时，语言和文化却让他却步。
I think definitely there'll be a lot of differences because a lot of the music that you play comes a lot from what you heard growing up. And for me, so it's a lot more Malay music. So sometimes when I'm playing in my ensemble, Reverberance, I'll have my colleagues tell me, you play this one sound too Malay. You need to be a bit more Chinese. Then I'll be there. I think that is what I would assume to be Chinese. But then if Malay way, it's a lot more lyrical, a lot more laid back.
完蛋了，我听不出来。
But also, it's not as simple as Chinese or Malay, because in Chinese music, there's a very wide variety of music. You have different provinces and they have very different dialects. And then when you really try to dive into this, it's not an easy topic. Tongpei one is a bit more aggressive, but they're not technically being aggressive to you. It's just the way that they speak. So it'll be like, something like this. Shanxi region is like, it's the different style of language they speak. Yeah.
What kind of songs are we gonna listen to? What kind of songs?
Oh,
Can
okay.
you play us a little bit?
So for this show specifically, it's all of it are compositions by Dr. Liang Wenfu, and all of it I think should be very familiar tunes for everyone. So an example will be.
It's definitely familiar for the Chinese, but for you
Yeah.
yourself, right? Have you heard of it before you got into this show, or
Actually, I have.
you have?
Yeah, because I have a lot of Chinese friends growing up. So after a while, I realized, actually I heard this before. I went to search it out and I said, oh, I didn't know it was by Dr. Liang. And let me introduce you to my good friend, Randy. I'm a Malay guy playing the guanzi and sona. Randy, on the other hand, is a Chinese guy playing the Malay drum called rebana.
就是我在南洋艺术学院2年级的时候，我们有一个 elective。之前我的学长们都是学印度鼓，然后到我那一年的时候，他们就说印度鼓的老师没时间教学生，他们就派了一个马来鼓的老师来教我，所以我就从那个时候就开始学了马来鼓。
为什么那么喜欢马来鼓？
以前都经常用鼓槌啊、鼓棒啊去敲那些鼓或者键盘乐器，但是马来鼓就比较特别一些，就是用手来敲的。然后因为从小都没跟这个乐器接触过，就感觉这个乐器挺有感兴趣。最难的就是好像它的音色打出来，有时候我老师打了，然后我想模仿它，但是模仿出来那个声音就不一样。对，我就花了一点时间，就每天就练一点，怎么把声音发得比较好一些。因为学了这个马来鼓之后，我才发现他们很多节奏性的东西都跟他们马来舞蹈很有关，所以就跟我们民族乐有一点不一样吧。它会比较舞蹈性一些，敲的节奏会让人家好像想跳舞。For example， 我学这个马来鼓，我的老师是 Ridwan Zelani， 他也算是一个著名的一个打击乐手，然后他很擅长不同国家的不同的鼓类，所以我想把这个马来鼓跟不同种族的乐器配在一起，然后演出来。马来鼓跟他们的文化大多数都是一家人的感觉，就像 Kampung Spirit， 所以我也因为这个马来鼓交了更多马来朋友，然后有一次还被邀请跟他们一起演出。
Because I play the instrument, there are adjacent opportunities that I get. Because normally I wouldn't be so involved in Chinese New Year. So because I play this instrument, then I've involved myself a lot in Chinese New Year. Actually, probably more than Hari Raya, because it is my job also. I would like to think that there's no such boundary as being Chinese, Malay, Indian. At the end of the day, we are really truly one Singapore. And I see that whatever I have now is only possible because I'm in Singapore. There is nowhere else that I would feel I have the access or the freedom to be able to learn something beyond my culture.